My reaction to being in the Hall of Fame of Hot, I would say thank you for whoever the judges or the voters were, and who nominated me and accepted me into to that category. Thank you. Listen, it's one of those things to where I don't focus on it as a person, but it's always nice to have something like that. That's a kind gesture. That's saying something nice about you. So I appreciate it. So thank you. I appreciate it because it's giving me the opportunity to continue working, but I don't focus on it because I've always felt if I start focusing on that instead of my craft and the job of what I actually do and get paid for, I wouldn't be around as long as I would. So I really just focus on what I do. Like I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate that people think that and feel that, and helps me keep getting jobs. But I really focus on the craft. Listen, and I love them. I do. I mean, I will say this. I really appreciate the support in any fashion, because I have been around a long time, and sometimes support wanes over the years, and the people who have supported me for all these years, young, old, and people who are just coming on to support me, I appreciate that. I just truly appreciate that. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be here. So thank you all. I think that for me, honestly, I think I've never really worried or compared myself to anybody else. I think my greatest my greatest challenge has always been within myself. I've always focused on what I'm doing, staying in my own lane. In our business, it's really, it can be really challenging. I understand for people sometimes, because as soon as people start talking about you, they say, well, compare this person to that person, or compare this movie to that movie. And it's hard to stay away and not really pay attention to the comparison game. But for me, honestly, I understand, some people like, vanilla, some people like chocolate, some people like salted caramel. I mean, people like all different flavors. So I won't even get into that game, and I just focus on me. Sweets. I Swooon. Sweets, and my wife. I want to, yes, I definitely want to come back to the Best Man franchise, and all of us are trying to, a few of us are reaching out to Malcolm Lee to try to convince him to do another one, because that franchise has been around for a couple of decades now, and we want to make it into the third decade. So I'd love to go back, and I know a few of the other actors would love to go back as well. What I love about Lance is, Lance in the first two movies was the emotional driver of the film. I mean, the films were funny, they were dramatic, but they were also emotional. And that's one thing I love. It's great for an audience to come to a movie and they'll laugh, but I've been fortunate to play characters to make audiences feel and root for. They were rooting for Lance in the first Best Man when he was on that altar. They wanted him to marry. They wanted him to overcome the challenge and marry Mia. And then the second Best Man, they were rooting for him to break the rushing record and hoping, to spend more time, with Mia before what happened there. So audiences are always rooting for Lance, and they do a great job of crafting some great emotional scenes for him. So that's what I love. I can say most of the actors that I've worked with, I would want to work with again. I've had some great experiences. I've had some bad experiences, but I've had some great experiences, and I always focus on the good experiences and just forget about the bad ones, even though it's hard sometimes. But I just focus on the good ones. A nice dinner, and dinner having a great dessert at the end of it. And then just spending time at home with my wife afterwards. And we don't have to talk about that anymore. Yes, I do have a favorite, and it is, and I hate to say it is one of my own, but not because of me. Two Can Play That Game was one of my favorite. Working with, of course, Vivica Fox back in the day, but Anthony Anderson, and really look back, we had so many people in that movie. Anthony Anderson, Gabrielle Union, Bobby Brown, Monique. We had a ton of people in that movie. It was such a fun movie to make. And I think that we could remake that today because it's, dating games and, to men and women playing games and dating, that will exist to the end of time. And so that movie that's one of my favorite ones.